do you think there's an impact of social media rising so obnoxiously? Is there an impact on people's mental health?
Yes, people can get really addicted to social media, which can get them like all stressed up and all, and they say that if I don't have enough followers, I won't have many friends and all, but then people will ostracize them and they'll avoid them, and they turn out to be very crazy if you're so addicted to social media, which I think is very common with many of the adults around here.
And anything else you would like to add to that?
And the kids also are starting to get very addicted to social media, which is not good because it can really impact in school routine and their mental health, because mental health is also one very important thing about your body, which I think is very not good really, because also social media doesn't mean you have many friends. It does not mean to have so much of followers, because you know that you can get addicted to it, which means you will have many mental health issues, which I think many of the kids in my school really do. Like they say like, I have this new video game, I really want this related to social media, which I don't think should be agreed with, because they should know that it'll be very impactful in their mental health.
Our today's guest is a 9-year-old girl who has keen interest in human behavior and psychology, and at this age she has been reading a lot of books and watching a lot of TED Talks. We spoke about her favorite book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and how that book has impacted her life. We spoke about the impact of social media on kids and adults these days, and how school education system is failing, and she also gave us some advice about the school education system and for parents to incorporate for kids of her age to have a holistic development in life. Please keep watching till the end and subscribe us for more such interesting content. Welcome to our show, Sumaira. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. I am really intrigued about your journey in the space of mental health. At the age of 9, what got you interested in this space? How did you start reading about it?
About a year and a half ago, I used to deal with many mental issues myself, and I used to be in this toxic background where negativity was all there in my environment. So one thing about me was I really love books. So one day I was rummaging through my library when I found one of the books which my dad has read, and it was called The Power of Subconscious Mind. And so I was very intrigued with the look of the book. So I started reading it, and when I finished reading it, it got me really interested in this topic about human psychology, that I started researching about it more and more, and that's what made me so interested, and that's what started my journey for researching about mental health.
And how long was that? Like, when did you read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind?
So these books I read about 2 years ago.
Okay, so when you were 7. And what did you find the most interesting takeaway from the book? It is an amazing book. That was also my first book when I started in this space.
One of the most interesting things it taught me was about how effective your subconscious mind can be. It taught me about what was the subconscious mind and the difference of conscious and subconscious mind, which was really effective with me, and I thought, and that was also one of the most major topics which concluded with the whole topic, which was mental health.
Sumaira, do you think, like, you were in school, and do you think there are things being taught at school which can help students learn how to, like, sort of how to combat with anxiety and stress?
Not really.
What do you think? Why is that?
Because the system is made in such a way that school was practically made for a person to earn enough money for a living.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the system was made many years ago, and the schools till date are still using the same system, which I think is really wrong, and that they should not tell the kids to not just focus on studies and their IQ, but they should also focus on their emotional quotient too.
Absolutely. Can't agree more with that. And when you say emotional quotient, what do you think in today's time you're seeing people around, you're growing up? What do you think is the status of stress and anxiety in people around and in school?
So stress and anxiety happens when like people judge you very negatively, and like you're in a very toxic environment which has negativity, and the people, many people actually are like having anxiety and stress, which I think is rising very quickly.
Yeah.
So it must be fixed very quickly, otherwise it'll rise more and more kids will like get like influenced by all of the people around them which have stress and anxiety, because it's a very common disorder for mental health.
I'm amazed at the amount of awareness you've got in this space, and it is really mind-boggling for me because people really don't know this when they're even in their 20s and 30s. So, like, what all do you do in your routine? What books are you reading now? What are you doing for this? I think you're passionate about mental health and psychology.
I'm very passionate about this, and I will research this as much as I want to, and that the books I'm reading are because I really love to read books, and that's one of the main reasons which made me into being interested in this topic.
And also, Sumaira, do you think there's an impact of social media rising so obnoxiously? Is there an impact on people's mental health?
Yes, people can get really addicted to social media, which can get them like all stressed up and all. And they say that if I don't have enough followers, I won't have many friends and all. But then people will ostracize them and they'll avoid them. And they turn out to be very crazy if you're so addicted to social media, which I think is very common with many of the adults around here.
And anything else you would like to add to that?
And the kids also are starting to get very addicted to social media, which is not good because it can really impact in school routine and their mental health, because mental health is also one very important thing about your body, which I think is very not good really, because also social media doesn't mean you have many friends. It does not mean to have so much of followers, because you know that you can get addicted to it, which means you will have many mental health issues, which I think many of the kids in my school really do. Like they say like, I have this new video game, I really want this related to social media, which I don't think should be agreed with, because they should know that it'll be very impactful in their mental health.
So is there anyone in the school looking at this, or is there any class that you have about awareness on these topics?
I don't have any class about these topics.
So there's nothing happening at school?
No.
And I think it is crucial right now because we are growing into an ecosystem where money is really not the big problem now. It was a few like decades ago, but right now the problem is how do you feel even if you have the money. So I think people have learned to make money, but people are still not learning how to take care of themselves. I think that is something which is still being neglected big time.
Well, I really agree to that, because the system was made for people to earn money and supply for their families to get food on their table, which I think is also something good, but they should know how to manage themselves, because sometimes people can go full on for money, which I think is very bad.
It is not healthy for people, I would say. And Sumaira, I remember you have been applying to TED Talks, and you are also a candidate for TEDx speaker, and you must be watching a lot of TED Talks, I believe.
Yes.
Which one is your favorite?
My favorite was Ken Robinson's first TED Talk.
Okay.
And how he pointed out that how the education system is failing a lot, because what it was meant for, the people still think it's right to teach the kids that you should get good marks and scores in your exams and earn money, because that's what people are going full on for money, which I think is really pressurizing the kids who are still in school.
Yeah. TED Talks was the most liked TED Talk also on online, because he really presented the school education system and dating it back to the industrial era. I really love that TED talk, that the Ken Robinson TED talk. He also made it very fun. I think that was the most fun, and he was also creating a lot of jokes, but he conveyed the idea very well that it is not only your PhD, it is not only your marks, grades, it is a lot of other things that you need. And I think he also spoke about schools killing creativity, because that is something which is being neglected. Everyone is just running after the subjects which will get them a job. I think that is something that needs a change now. Anything else, Sumaira, as per your learning, understanding, you would like to share about this space? Your suggestions or something?
I think that the school should really change the system now, because it's big time that the kids have been getting pressurized by their teachers, friends, parents, societies. Because even if the parents want their kids to excel in all of their exams, the kids think that if I don't, then this will happen to me, that will happen to me, and they get very scared, which lead them to failing the exams.
Yeah. And I think also this thing where the education system requires this change, and plus at home also we require change in terms of not just focusing on the marks, it should around holistic development of the kids. So Sumaira, what else is on your mind? What do you want to do when you grow up? What do you have a vision right now? What do you feel?
I think that in 10 years time, if people do not recover this thing of people going all over money and going full on, then I think it'll be very bad in 10 years time or more. And when I grow up, I think the first thing I will do is to spread awareness about this mental health.
Wow.
Because people can also tell it to all of their friends and family, and they will also know that whatever they're doing is wrong and really effective for their mental health.
I'm glad, Sumaira, that is something so much needed even right now, and I'm glad you're working in that direction already at the age of 9. And Sumaira, tell me one more thing, like in schools, what do you think is the major issue coming up? I remember you was talking about bullying being an issue in schools and a lot of other things. What is your observation? What is the issues that kids are facing in school? Is it stress, anxiety, bullying? What is it?
One of the top things which kids are facing within school is bullying.
Okay.
And also the stress and anxiety, because I have my exams also going on, and many of the kids are very scared that they'll get low marks and make their parents upset.
Oh my God.
But one thing which the parents should know is that instead of pressurizing the kids, they should encourage their kids to focus more about their EQ than their IQ. I know your intelligence quotient is also very important, but on the bright side, emotional quotient will be also very important.
I think that is very crucial for the leadership skills, because if you just want to grow up alone on just something where you want to create teams, is something where you need emotional intelligence. You cannot work with people until you are emotionally intelligent. You need to understand, have compassion and have empathy for people. I think that is very important. I think that is what you're talking about.
Yes, because if let's say you want to make a company and you practically are focusing on intelligence quotient, I think it will not go what you expect, because you also need to know how to connect with people, and that's when people will understand how to work with you.
That is how the company grows, and the people with you are also growing. This is something very important. I am amazed actually, Sumaira. You have so much of awareness and knowledge at this age, and I'm 100% sure you are heading in towards your passion, and you will go very deep into it and bring something very, very nice out of it, and which will be very helpful for people in the community overall. It is an overwhelming feeling for me. I was telling my family also about it, that Sumaira at the age of 9 knows so much that people at 20s and 30s don't even know about it. It is commendable. And before we wrap the show, Sumaira, do you have some tips for the parents and the kids? Some small takeaway or some activity they should do in a day that can help them and their kid grow in a more holistic manner?
So, few tips I would give is that the kids start learning about mental health.
At an early age?
Yes, so that they can tell their friends and family in the future about how effective it can be, so that they all are like prevented from such disorders.
Okay.
And for the parents, it's not the best idea to pressurize your kids for exams,
I'm sure.
because if you pressurize, they'll have a very big chance of failing, which I don't think is a good thing.
Thank you for the tips, Sumaira. It was amazing having you on the show, and we'll reconnect and we'll speak further in the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching till the end. Please comment below and tell us about more topics that you would like to hear from Sumaira, and we'll invite her in the next episode and discuss those topics in depth. Please like, subscribe, and share this podcast with at least one parent, because this podcast might help that parent get more aware about their kids' mental well-being. Thank you so much.